I will be putting a bag on Conor Benn, and here's why. Live on DAZN.com, Garcia versus Romero and Canelo versus Scull. Friday, May 2nd from 6 p.m. Eastern, and Saturday, May 3rd from 7 p.m. Eastern. A knockout weekend of boxing. Pick one or go all in for $90, exclusively on DAZN. Buy now using the link in the description box below.
Put the fight on.
I will be live in New York at the City Winery doing an on-stage live performance. You guys, please show up. The tickets are on sale now. Check the link in the description box and in the comments below.
He started sparring with a guy called William Scull. But then what happened, round 8 came.
Uh-oh.
And then Tony, we looked at each other and we thought, he just quit. He just stopped. Couldn't take no more.
It's all available live worldwide on DAZN and...
That was by far, without question, the hardest stare down in modern day history. Conor Benn and Chris Eubanks Jr., that stare down got me super lit for the fight. The press conference was fun and phenomenal. I'm going to show that stare down in its entirety at the end of this video because we're going to be in the DAZN war room. But listen, I am so lit for this fight. There's so much to talk about, and I will be talking about what we've learned about the Berlanga versus Shiraz card, co-mained by Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda. But first, we got to talk about the fight of the hour. I was in the live chat of DAZN, looking at the press conference. Many of you in the war room were there. There were fun moments, okay? The Ring Magazine COO, Jesus Christ.
You know, we don't want to be peddling garbage out there like a lot of other people are. I don't want to name any names. I won't say if any guilty parties are with me right now, but...
Name them. Go ahead. This is what we're here for.
Well, I could say a lot more, but I know Robert Smith is out here with his ticket book. I don't want to get into any trouble. He might find me enough. They may have to add me to the undercard by the end of this press conference.
That brother there wasn't pulling any punches. And I really don't know what's going on. But, I mean, his attitude was his attitude. But I must say, what he was saying was facts as far as what the fans want, evenly matched fights and the best to fight the best. It was very funny. It was very humorous. Chris Eubanks Jr., him shutting up Eddie Hearn.
Yeah, just a few thank yous. Thanks to Rick.
Eddie.
I knew this was coming. Do you know what I've been thinking?
It was coming.
Do you know what I've been thinking? Can I not even say a few thank yous or?
No.
And it was pretty hilarious, the back and forth between Chris Eubanks and Conor Benn here.
You know, yeah. The wait is painful.
Yeah, good.
I'm in pain right now. I'll be in even more pain tonight and tomorrow morning.
And the worst pain you've ever experienced comes Saturday night. I promise you that right now.
You know, the question I ask myself is, what is pain?
Oh, shut up, Chris.
No, I'm serious. What is it?
Oh, shut up. You're going off. Oh.
But then it immediately went 180 and got real.
I have a 31-year-old brother. He is buried in the desert in Dubai. That's pain. You know, I have his son, Raheem, 3 years old. You know, he asks, why can't I see my daddy? Why doesn't he take me to school? That's pain. My own father, a man I idolized for my entire life, and he doesn't speak to me. We haven't spoken for years, and he thinks I'm a disgrace. You know, these things are what pain is to me. And if I can deal with all of these trials and tribulations, then the weight cut and the rehydration clause, these are all things that are not an issue. They are not important.
Okay.
And that, other than the stare down itself, was probably the best moment of the press conference. But I must say, the most important moment to me is what Nigel Benn had to say about his son and how his son bullied Bruno Sarase, the guy who knocked out Jaime Magia and stopped William Scull, who would be fighting for undisputed against Canelo Alvarez May 3rd, how he did that to both of those boys in sparring.
He was sparring with a guy that knocked out Munguia, Bruno. I can't remember his last name. Sarase. Been sparring with him. Another light heavy. Conor was bullying him around. And then to put the cherry on top, he started sparring with a guy called William Scull. And I got my boy and I thought, my little boy. He just damaged the IBF world champion.
First, I want to say, Nigel Benn, that was horrible advertising for the Canelo and William Scull fight, because we already expected Canelo to have a good showing and end up undisputed. Now, the fashion, it must be parliamentary. But if Conor Benn is doing that with those sparring partners, and I believe that is true, I am going to be placing a bet on Conor Benn to beat Chris Eubanks. I still favor Chris Eubanks a bit, but I think for my betting money on my bookie, my bookie that I wanna try, I will be putting a bag on Conor Benn, and here's why. Because it's not just due to what Nigel Benn said alone. It is mostly because I believe we've seen this type of fight before. The similarities are unreal. 2008. A 29-year-old Manny Pacquiao faced a 35-year-old Oscar De La Hoya. They met at a catch weight of 145. Manny Pacquiao, 29, in his prime, facing an Oscar De La Hoya, 35 and over his prime. The 35-year-old Oscar De La Hoya was campaigning at 154 before that. And he had to shrink down to 145, dehydrating himself. It's hard to do when you are in the upper age, beyond your prime, sweating to make weight to cut down. Because usually the older you get, the more you advance up in weight. Oscar De La Hoya cutting down and also being outside his prime. The smaller, naturally smaller, but more prime Manny Pacquiao moved up and defeated Oscar De La Hoya, making Oscar De La Hoya retire in his corner.
He knows he's 35 and it's all over. The fight is stopped.
The similarities are unreal with this fight. Chris Eubanks Jr. being 35 years old, the same age as Oscar De La Hoya back in 2008. Chris Eubanks Jr. going down, fighting at 160. That is 8 pounds away from the weight that he usually campaigns, where Oscar De La Hoya was 9 pounds away. So just a 1 pound difference, but the same age of 35. Conor Benn going up in weight. His last fight was at 154, and he's facing Chris Eubanks Jr. at 160. Him going up in weight. Just like Manny Pacquiao went up in weight as the naturally smaller man. But on top of that, Manny Pacquiao was closer to his prime, well, in his prime at 29, where Conor Benn is in his prime now at 28. Just 1 year difference. Chris Eubanks and Oscar De La Hoya, 1 pound difference as far as the weight that they have to cut. And Conor Benn and Manny Pacquiao, just 1 year difference. Oscar De La Hoya was the favorite in that fight against Manny Pacquiao because not only was Oscar De La Hoya an experienced and fantastic fighter, very skilled, he was just naturally the bigger man, and they thought Manny Pacquiao was insane. Manny Pacquiao didn't even weigh 145 stepping into that fight. he weighed 142. Conor Benn, many people don't think that he's going to even make the scale anything close to 160. He may not. But still, Chris Eubanks Jr., as the bigger man and skilled fighter, people are seeing him as the favorite. And I understand that. And me too, I am predicting a Chris Eubanks Jr. win. But where I'm going to put my money is going to be on Conor Benn because of the history, the similarities of what we saw in 2008 with Manny Pacquiao and Oscar De La Hoya. No, Conor Benn is no Manny Pacquiao, but don't get it confused. Chris Eubanks Jr. is definitely no Oscar De La Hoya. But we'd love to see what happens here. It may not end up the same way. I'm just saying it's not crazy to put your money on the smaller man. Nigel Benn saying that Conor Benn is bullying light heavyweights in sparring. Well, they don't campaign at light heavyweight, but they're light heavyweights when they're sparring. Big guys haven't made the weight yet. So I'm going to be placing my money on Conor Benn tomorrow on the Facts Friday. I hope you guys show up for me to place those bets. Now, let's talk about Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda will be billed as the main event when leading up to the fight. All of the press conferences and weigh-ins, all of those things, they will be announced last as the main attraction. But come fight night, it is Berlanga versus Shiraz. They will be the final fight of the night, meaning they are still going to headline the card come fight night. What do I think about that? I think that's brilliant. My whole argument is that Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda is the more anticipated fight. But people are leaning towards Berlanga versus Shiraz to be the more entertaining fight. We don't know until fight night. And with Shakur Stevenson not really being known as a knockout artist, though he dropped Padley a few times the last fight and stopped him, people don't think that there will be a knockout with his fight against Zepeda. They think he's going to outbox him and stick and move. It can be a bit of a boring fight. So come fight night, the more exciting fight, projected exciting fight, will top the card as the headline fight, as they use Shakur Stevenson versus Zepeda as the more popular matchup to push the fight. I think that is a brilliant move. Listen, I get it. I get it. I mean, more people are really, excited about the names Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda. But if you're going to have the night of the fight, you don't want the night to end with that fight. If you have an opportunity with all the fighters, David Morrell was fighting on that card, Pollo versus Matias, which is going to be a banger, is going to be on that card. Plus, they're going to be in New York, not New Jersey. They're going to have Berlanga versus Shiraz at the end, and we're pretty sure somebody's going to sleep. I think, listen, it makes all the sense in the world to me. It does. I think that is the perfect balance. I was saying that I think Shakur versus William Zepeda should headline the card, but really what I'm saying is that is the fight that is the most notable fight. Well, they use that to sell the fights or sell the card, pay-per-view. And for those who are showing up to the event, they want to leave them happy with a projected knockout with a hometown Berlanga. Can't get no better than that. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. ShowBizz Lando, we in the zone war room. We in the zone war room.
Of course, isn't he always supremely confident? And I think, I think he feels he has the moral high ground here. He's pretty much said that, hasn't he? So, he thinks he got wants to put Conor in his place. And again, he has all that experience, a wealth of experience, more than Conor, Benn, and he thinks he's going to prove that on Saturday night.
This is as close as they've got to each other since the egg incident. And look at that. This is a death stare. They want to do each other serious damage. And I think if there wasn't security there now, they'd just go at it.
Fireworks. Saturday night promises fireworks. Look at the eyes, they don't lie on both. This is This means so much to both. It really does, representing that surname against its bitter rival. This is big.
That is a great picture.
I mean, that's going to go down in the history books. I mean, it already is. I mean, they've not broken eye contact in at least a minute here. I mean,
2 more sleeps.
I'm sold. I'm in. Let's go.
Who's going to be the first man to turn? I don't think either of them give up. We could be here all day. This broadcast could go on for months.
I just... do you know what? You can see this all, like every day in every single fight you watch, but when it's a big fight, it just feels different, doesn't it? Just that tingle of what's going to happen.
The room has just changed. All eyes on the 2 fighters, Eubanks, Benn, and they've just got eyes for each other. I mean, it is...
How iconic is this photograph? What the dads have gone through, the 2 fights, the bad blood between the fathers, and you're seeing it here. This image here is special.
And the way Nigel's just kind of quietly lurking in the back, and it's... He's ready.
Yeah, he's just even that ring magazine in the middle between them both. Everything just feels right, doesn't it? It's brilliant.
It does. I don't know how they're going to separate these 2.
It's about legacy, it's about bragging rights. 12 rounds of boxing in the middleweight division. Conor the Destroyer Benn.
I mean, they're going to have to break these guys up.
Yeah, they're not going to walk away. You got to physically move them out of the way, I think.
I mean, this is a powder keg. They've started talking to each other now. It's coming, I think he said. That was a total 3-minute stare down.
Eubanks has been brilliant today. He really has. In everything he said, it's been absolutely fantastic. Even that heart-wrenching story about obviously his brother Sebastian and his son Raheem and everything else in between that. And Conor Benn has been cooler than what I thought he was. I have to be fair.
Yeah, I think he's taken a lot of the emotion out of it now.
I think he's understood. He's not going to get a word in. He's, you know, doesn't have the experience, doesn't have that kind of